In our society today, people are looking for the sweet spot, and it doesn't matter what their age is. That's exactly how I stumbled across the emotion code. I was at a point in my life where I was looking for that magic fix. And I don't know if you can relate, if you've ever struggled with chronic pain, if you've had anxiety or depression, or if you're left with the after effects of a traumatic event that happened in your life when you were young. And it seems to shape who you are today, and you can't seem to get past all of the emotions that it brought to you. Have you ever had a broken heart where it just felt raw to the core? Well, I'm here to let you know that you are able to experience joy and happiness again. You might be asking yourself, what do all these things have in common? It doesn't seem to make sense. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you one wonderful technique that can address all of the issues. I'm Cristi Alonso, founder of Project Mindfull, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the emotion code technique developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. When I was experiencing many of these symptoms that I spoke of, I found the emotion code, and I want to tell you that I'm not exaggerating when I said that it really changed my life. After my first session, so many of the symptoms that I came in for seemed to be alleviated, and I just knew that I had to know more about this emotion code. Over time, I became a certified emotion code practitioner, and now what's really exciting is I get to help people all over the world with emotion code and as a transformational coach. I am really super excited to share this with you, so just stay tuned. The emotion code has completely changed my life. Synchronicity is something that I marvel at every day. It's amazing to me how many things show up in our life exactly when we need them. Well, that's what happened when I found the emotion code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I was at a point in my life where I was dealing with aging parents. I was dealing with a relationship that wasn't working much anymore. I also had some family dysfunction. I was trying to decide what the next step in my career was, in my life was, and then I was just dealing with all of the life stresses that we deal with every day. But once I started using the emotion code, I felt like a new person. I felt so different because I felt that there was a peace within me that was what I had been searching for a long time. I was managing the things that I didn't have control over in my life, but I felt balanced and I felt peace and I literally felt like a new woman. This amazing technique is so simple, but yet it's so powerful. And I've always been a believer in personal development, self-awareness, and continued growth. And for me, doing whatever it takes to make my life easier and feel better about the decisions that I had made in my life. Stepping out of victimhood and stepping into my power was huge for me. I moved away from any regret, and I was always trying to make the best of things because that's the way life is. Can you relate to that? That life just happens and we just have a choice. We can either decide to accept it, deal with it, or change it, because we are the only people that are in control of our destiny. With the emotion code, you too can feel peaceful, you can feel happier, and you can feel a sense of well-being. So your whole life just feels lighter and happier. And if you experience any of the emotional triggers that hijack your day, the ones that you think, oh my God, I can't wait for tomorrow because I feel so crappy today, it's time for you to sign up for a free session, and you'll be able to see the quick results that you get in your life. As a certified emotion code practitioner, I get to help the world by healing one person at a time. And it's my mission to bring light into the world so people can find self-love and they can illuminate the path to their future. Because once you release all these trapped emotions and the emotional baggage that you have, your light is able to shine brighter and you illuminate the path so your life becomes easier. What many people don't know is that a lot of our suffering is due to negative energies that are trapped in the body. The emotion code is a simple and powerful method of identifying and releasing the trapped emotions that are stored in this body. When we experience a negative emotion, we're supposed to feel the emotion, we're supposed to process it, and then we're to let it go. But sadly, quite often, the emotional vibration gets stuck in our body. Quite often, the process of releasing emotions gets interrupted and the vibrations stay in the body. And they create a ball of energy, and stuck energy and gunk can become the size of a tennis ball or lemon or a cantaloupe or a grapefruit. So when they're lodged in the body, we experience brain fog, we can feel fatigue, anxiety, fear, panic, and even weight gain. The only way to rid them is using the emotion code. There's 3 things that happen when you have a trapped emotion. The first is a trapped emotion will start to tear away at the tissue of the organ, creating irritation. That's why there's so much disease in our society. For example, when emotions are held around the liver of resentment, bitterness, and anger, you may notice that when someone drinks, those are the very strong emotions, the same emotions that come out. That's something that we refer to as an angry drunk. So what happens is they relax enough on a conscious level that they can let those trapped emotions be released in a harmful way. And while it might be somewhat effective in releasing their stuck emotions, it's very detrimental to the organs and the tissues in the body. Say if you have a trapped emotion in your heart area, you may feel like you're putting love out and you're not getting anything back, or that you feel hopeless that you're never going to be able to find a loving partner. Or maybe you feel that everybody in your life has abandoned you. And that is because you have a heart wall that needs to be removed. If the heart walls are not released, they can cause heart disease and heart issues. And heart disease is one of the #1 killers of women. I worked with a client who experienced a broken heart for many years. She actually ended up having a heart attack, turning her emotional pain into physical pain, which could have ended her life. I'm glad to say that thanks to the emotion code and change in diet and change in lifestyle, she is alive and well. Secondly, we all have an energy field around us. When you have these balls of energy in your energetic field, that's the circular field around you, and because they're different size energy balls, they're going to make you feel lopsided or warped. So what happens is that if you're walking around, imagine that you're walking around lopsided, you're going to start to get pain in your neck because you're going to walk around like this. Now it's all on an energy level, but it's still going to create physical pain. And you might feel pain in different parts of your body. And what it is, it's a cry for help. Your body's saying, I need help, I'm in pain. What are we going to do about it? So your body will send out a frequency of pain. And if it continues to be neglected, over time, you're going to start feeling unwell. And who wants to feel unwell? And even worse, if they're stuck in there long enough, untreated, they're going to go ahead and manifest disease. And finally, the third element to the trapped emotions is that it causes you to be very reactive. So what I mean is that you start to experience an emotion over and over and over again. So imagine that you were 2 years old and that you were at a family event and you felt overwhelmed or there were too many people going on and you had a feeling of overwhelm. Fast forward to when you're 7 and you're in school and you're having a test and you don't feel like you're prepared, so you feel overwhelmed. And then fast forward again to you're a teenager at 15 years old, and just because you're a teenager, life seems to be overwhelming. And then as an adult, you often wonder, why is it that when I get overwhelmed, I feel like I'm on the edge and I just am going to explode? And I don't understand why I feel that way. So what happens is the negative emotion was never processed. It didn't go through that 3-step process, and it energetically stuck in your body. When people experience depression, guilt, anger, anxiety, or any of the other 60 emotions that are on the emotion code chart, they think that their current state is because of something that has recently happened, when in all reality, it is something that may have happened many years ago. From cellular memory, your body relives it over and over and over again. WebMD states that 95% of the people in the doctor's office are dealing with stress-related illness or disease. Now that you've learned a little bit more about how powerful the frequency of emotions are, can you see why that number is so high? Can you imagine how wonderful it would be if only half of those people were introduced to the emotion code and were able to get relief from their physical and emotional pain? In your emotion code session, we will use a technique called muscle testing to identify and release any of the trapped emotions that are causing you emotional and physical pain. The subconscious mind knows absolutely everything that has occurred in your life. It has a deep file folder that has every event, every memory, every face that you saw, every meal that you had, anything that you've ever done in your life, your subconscious remembers. Your subconscious also acts as an automatic pilot, and it's what's running your thinking, your habits, your actions, and your behaviors. So can you imagine what it would feel like to tap into that supercomputer so you know exactly what's going on with you? And this is one of my favorite parts of the emotion code, is my subconscious does all the work. I don't have to do anything but just show up. And tapping into our subconscious mind is a fantastic way of getting answers directly from the body. For example, if you have a pain in your shoulder, we will ask if you have a trapped emotion that's causing that pain. And if your body responds yes, we'll identify the trapped emotion, and then we'll go ahead and release it using a magnet, which is pure energy. Because this is an energy healing technique, and everything is energy, your session can be over Skype, phone, email, WhatsApp, whatever form of communication is best for you. Because as long as I have your permission, we're always connected by Wi-Fi. Doesn't that sound simple? It really, really is. So are you ready to hear how the emotion code can help you in your life? Well, I'm going to recap some of the things that I've already said, so make sure you have paper and pencil and to take notes. The first thing that happens is by releasing trapped emotions, you become proactive, not reactive. So those trapped emotions that had seemed to be replaying in your life over and over and over again are no longer there. So imagine that if we released a trapped emotion of unsupported, because you'd felt unsupported by a variety of things that have happened in your life. So we release the emotion of unsupported, and all of a sudden you run up to some of those circumstances where you had been triggered before, and you no longer feel that charge. And you stop and think to yourself, oh, that feels different. Why am I not upset? Why don't I feel like somebody is not supporting me or I'm feeling unloved? It's because we've done the work and we release the trapped emotion. And what happens when you become proactive, you also become more productive in your life. So you have better interactions with your family, your partner, your loved ones, any relationships that you have, in your job, in your business, in your career, in all areas of your life. And what you start to notice is that that emotion of unsupported just doesn't feel the same anymore. You just kind of notice it, and it just doesn't get stuck in that energetic field. So how amazing would it be that anytime you had any type of an emotional brick drop in your lap, that with something as simple as the emotion code, finding the trapped emotion and releasing it can be done in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes in a regular session. Once we release that trapped emotion that is in the area of your body or your organ, it gets relief. The pain is eliminated, and the body actually begins to heal itself. Now, the third one, when you release trapped emotions, is my favorite one, because you're able to get rid of all of that emotional baggage that you've been carrying around for so long. So imagine that you've got your emotional baggage in a suitcase, and you're driving in a car, and it just happens to be in the back seat. Every time you look in the rearview mirror, you see it, you think about it, you feel it, you become emotional, you become upset. Your body starts to go through its changes. Well, once you release trapped emotions, you take that suitcase of emotional baggage and you move it to the back seat of the bus. You can look in the rearview mirror and you see it, you know it's there, but it's a distant memory. No longer are you traumatized by the negative charge that all of your emotional baggage has on it. So when you're able to look back at the memory, because the memory still stays, you don't feel the emotional charge. And it won't affect your current state. So no longer will you get into those bad moods or feeling in a lot of physical pain, because the trapped emotion is gone. And when you release those trapped emotions, those emotions can no longer hold you hostage. You really do feel a sense of peace, freedom, and you actually feel lighter. I would have to say that every client has always said to me at the end of their session, you know what, I feel lighter. They're not quite sure what happened because it is energy healing and it's difficult sometimes to explain, but they felt just happier and lighter. With all of the training, certification, seminar, and workshops that I've done all over the world, I have found that releasing trapped emotions is the best way to move forward in your life. To unhook from your past, to live your happiest life. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all looking for? Aren't we all looking to be happy? If you're new to the emotion code, we're offering a complimentary mini session with no strings attached. The reason is that we want you to experience what the emotion code can do for you. It's time for you to let go of the pain that is keeping you from living your best life and keeping you living in the past. If you find that our session is beneficial and want to continue working together, we'll formulate a plan and we'll make that happy. Please remember to share this with all of the people that you love and the people that you think will benefit from hearing this information. Our mission is to heal the world one person at a time. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to share the emotion code with you. Again, I'm Cristi Alonso, and I can't wait to hear from you.